Native flavors shaped America long before fast food and frozen dinners. From fry bread born of hardship to the healing warmth of cedar tea, Native Cuisine tells stories you won't find in textbooks. Before we begin, hit like and subscribe. Today we revisit 10 delicious Native American recipes every American should try. Coming in at number 10, maple syrup candy. Now travel east to the maple groves of the Northeast, where the first thaw of spring brought families into the woods with wooden buckets and iron kettles. Clear sap dripped steadily from the trees, boiled down over open fires until it thickened into amber syrup and finally hardened into candy. The taste was pure and rich sweet without being cloying, with hints of smoke from the fire and minerals from the earth. Unlike modern candies filled with empty calories, maple candy held manganese, zinc, calcium, and potassium nutrients that strengthened bones and boosted immunity. For children, it was joy wrapped in sweetness. For adults, it was energy that healed as it delighted. As factory-made confections flooded shelves, this tradition slipped away from everyday life, surviving mainly at fairs and festivals. Yet every bite still whispers of a time when nature itself provided the treats. If you've enjoyed this journey through 10 timeless Native recipes, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more nostalgia and retro food memories. Your comments keep these traditions alive. Coming in at number 9, smoked salmon. Picture the misty rivers of the Pacific Northwest, where silver salmon once surged upstream in endless waves. For the Tlingit, Haida, and Coast Salish peoples, this fish was more than food. It was sacred, honored in songs and ceremonies. To preserve it through the long winters, they turned to the slow magic of smoking. Cold smoke curled around fillets, hung in cedar huts, deepening their flavor while unlocking nutrients modern science still admires. The result was tender, smoky flesh, rich in omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D, and complete protein. A single bite carried both nourishment and memory, a taste that bound families together around the fire. Unlike today's processed smoked products, this traditional method actually improved the fish, making its benefits more bioavailable while keeping it shelf-stable for months. It wasn't just preservation, it was enhancement. Think of it, a technique that turned survival food into culinary art, still celebrated in Native feasts today. Coming in at number 8, wojapi, or choke cherry pudding. Picture the summer plains, where families gathered baskets of choke cherries so dark they almost gleamed purple in the sunday. Crushed and simmered into a thick, glossy pudding, the tartness mellowed into a rich sweetness that clung to the spoon. Children licked it warm from wooden bowls, while elders savored it with bread or meat. Beyond taste, wojapi carried quiet medicine. Those choke cherries were packed with anthocyanins, antioxidants that supported heart health, reduced inflammation, and balanced blood sugar. A dessert that actually healed the body was rare then and remains extraordinary now. Over time, processed sweets crowded it out, replacing natural fruit flavors with refined sugar and artificial colors. Yet for the Lakota and other Plains tribes, wojapi is still remembered as both comfort food and cultural treasure. Looking back at cedar tea's healing warmth and pemmican's endurance, wojapi shows another side of Native cuisine, where even dessert had wisdom baked in. Out of these three, wild rice soup, cedar tea, or choke cherry pudding, which would you be most curious to taste today? Coming in at number 7, cedar tea. Now imagine the deep northern forests in the dead of winter, snow piled high, game scarce, and no fresh fruit for months. While European settlers often suffered from scurvy, Native tribes had a secret hanging right above their heads: the needles and bark of cedar trees. Brewed into a steaming tea, it released a woodsy aroma, sharp and clean, almost like breathing in the forest itself. More than just warmth, cedar tea was loaded with vitamin C, 3 to 5 times stronger than oranges, plus natural compounds that boosted absorption and fought infection. For families gathered in log homes, this drink wasn't luxury. It was survival. It faded from daily life as store-bought citrus and supplements took over, but the wisdom remained striking. A simple handful of needles once saved lives when nothing else could. Think of it, a humble tree offering more than a supermarket aisle ever could. Cedar tea wasn't just a remedy, it was proof that nature itself was the best doctor. Coming in at number 6, wild rice and mushroom soup. Picture the frozen lakes of the Great Lakes region, where Ojibwe families harvested slender stalks of true wild rice from canoes, beating the grains gently into baskets. Unlike store-bought rice, these dark kernels were an aquatic grass twice as rich in protein and bursting with antioxidants. Simmered slowly with earthy forest mushrooms like turkey tail or chaga, the result was a fragrant, nourishing soup. The nutty bite of wild rice blended with the savory depth of mushrooms, creating warmth that spread through the body on icy nights. For these communities, it wasn't just a meal, it was medicine supporting immunity through the coldest winters. Modern nutritionists bottle these same compounds into pricey supplements, yet Native people understood their power centuries earlier. Around the fire, families found in this soup both strength and comfort, a reminder that survival could also taste delicious. If you're enjoying this journey, hit like and subscribe for more. Your comments keep these food memories alive. Looking back at fry bread, the three sisters, stew blue, corn, mush, acorn, soup, pemmican, and this wild rice creation. Which of these first 6 dishes would you bring back to your own table? Coming in at number 5, pemmican. Imagine a hunter on the vast Great Plains carrying nothing but a pouch of dried meat rendered fat and berries. That mixture was pemmican, the original energy bar engineered centuries before sports nutrition companies filled store shelves. It had a chewy, dense texture, blending the savory depth of bison with the tart sweetness of choke cherries. Each bite delivered pure survival protein to build strength, fat, to sustain long journeys, and natural sugars for quick energy. Warriors, traders, and even entire families relied on this food during harsh winters and migrations. The genius lay in its simplicity. Without refrigeration, pemmican could last for months, sometimes years, keeping people alive in conditions that would break most of us today. It wasn't just fuel, it was freedom, allowing travel across immense landscapes without fear of hunger. Today we pay a premium for all-natural protein bars, yet this centuries-old recipe already perfected the balance of nutrition and portability. Pemmican proves that necessity often inspires the greatest innovations in food. Coming in at number 4, acorn soup. Picture an autumn forest, the ground littered with acorns crunching under your shoes. To most of us, they're nothing more than debris, but to countless native tribes, these nuts were treasure once valued more highly than gold. The soup they created from acorns was earthy, rich, and slightly sweet after careful preparation. Families spent days leaching the bitter tannins away in running streams, a patient ritual that turned something inedible into life-sustaining food. Around the fire, bowls of steaming acorn soup became a reminder of nature's hidden generosity. Why did it fade from our tables? Convenience. Modern markets made grains and packaged foods easier, pushing aside the painstaking tradition of harvesting and preparing acorn. Yet the knowledge endured, a quiet testament to resourcefulness. Think of it this way, while we buy expensive superfoods from distant countries, native people once found theirs falling freely from the trees. Acorn soup wasn't just nourishment, it was a lesson in seeing abundance where others saw waste. Coming in at number 3, blue corn mush. Before dawn broke across the mesas of the Southwest, families stirred pots of a deep blue porridge that glowed purple in the morning light. This was blue corn mush, a breakfast far older and far healthier than the trendy acai bowls sold today. The first spoonful carried a nutty earthiness, thick and comforting, while its color alone felt almost magical. Packed with more protein than white corn and enriched with juniper ash for added calcium, this humble dish gave hunters and herders the strength to face the long day. Children grew up with its warmth, associating the flavor with home and security. Unlike sugary cereals of the modern era, blue corn mush provided steady energy without the crash. It was nutrition wrapped in tradition, proof that indigenous knowledge anticipated what dietitians preach now. Looking back at fry bread, the Three Sisters stew, and this vibrant porridge, each born from resilience and wisdom, makes you wonder, which of these 3 dishes would you love to taste first, and why? Coming in at number 2, Three Sisters stew. Imagine a wide field under the summer sun, tall corn stalks reaching skyward, bean vines twirling around them, and broad squash leaves shading the ground. This was no accident. It was Native American agricultural brilliance, a system they called the Three Sisters. The taste of their union came alive in a hearty stew, rich with sweet corn kernels, creamy beans, and soft chunks of squash. Each spoonful offered balanced carbohydrates for energy, proteins for strength, vitamins for health. Families gathered around clay pots, sharing bowls that warmed both body and spirit. This dish wasn't just nutrition. It was community science perfected long before modern farming. Today, health gurus praise companion planting as innovation, but native people lived it centuries earlier. Some versions were thick like chowder, others brothy and spiced with wild herbs, but all carried the same lesson: survival thrives in cooperation. That's why the Three Sisters stew became both a meal and a metaphor. If you're enjoying this trip, hit like and subscribe for more. Your support helps keep these food memories alive. Coming in at number 1, fry bread. Picture the dusty trails of the 1960s when Navajo families were forced on the long walk, carrying little more than sorrow and survival instincts. Out of government rations, plain white flour, processed sugar, salt, and lard, women created a golden, crispy bread that sizzled in cast iron pans. Bite into it, and you'd taste more than dough. The crunch gives way to soft warmth inside a flavor, carrying both pain and resilience. For Native communities, fry bread is more than food. It's a symbol of endurance passed from generation to generation at powwows, fairs, and family tables. It emerged not from abundance but necessity when traditional diets of corn, beans, and wild game were stripped away. Yet what began as survival became a cultural emblem still served with honey beans or chili today. Think about it. How many modern fusion dishes claim authenticity while this simple bread holds centuries of survival and pride? Fry bread reminds us that even in tragedy, people found a way to nourish body and spirit. From hearty stews to sweet maple treats, these Native American recipes remind us that true nourishment comes from history, tradition, and resilience. They're more than food, they're living stories carried through generations. Which dish spoke to you the most? Share your memories below. And don't forget, hit like and subscribe for more journeys into America's forgotten food history.